Shalom, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give praises, all honors, and all glories unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem HaKodash. Double honors to my apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings be unto the elect. All right, you brothers out there teaching this truth, in truth and in sincerity, to you we say shalom. Or to you I say shalom. It's another video, another in transit. And we're going to be going into this short video that you saw at the beginning of this lesson. And you saw this, or rather this came out, I believe a few weeks ago, actually. This is like my second time seeing this clip posted. And pretty much you have these people that are pretty much walking off the job, because clearly there are things that they're not happy about with the company, that being Amazon. And over the last few years, you've had a lot of different, especially Jake particularly, we had a lot of different people flock to Amazon in order to work for them because, at least over here within Michigan, they were paying at least $17 an hour. So a lot of people over the last few years flocked over to Amazon in order to get payment or better pay, which $17 an hour is not much in this society. So oftentimes, at least here within Michigan, when I see people who work for Amazon, they have like a follow-up gig, whether that be some type of delivery service or, something like that. Usually I've seen them, a lot of Amazon workers do some type of, food delivery service, to supplement their income. But nevertheless, people are disgruntled and unhappy with the state of things at their jobs. That's why you have all these different unions forming up, different protests, teachers protesting, construction workers, so on and so forth across the country, over the last few years especially. But the reason why this is happening is because people are not happy, and this is only going to ramp up even more. When you read James, the 5th chapter, it speaks about the laborers who reap down your fields shall rise up against you, shall rise up against E. And what makes things worse is that this devil's not giving people real money, which real money is gold and silver. Esau's not giving these people that. He's robbing these people. And there's no outcry, there's no uproar about it. Here it is, you have something called shrinkflation. Now, at the plantation a few days ago, this one person that works at my job said, I remember when bags of chips used to be 4 for $1. And this YN that works there, he's like, what? No, that I can't believe that. No, man, what you mean? Then she happened to ask me about it. I said, not so many words. Yeah, that used to be a thing. And he was shocked. He was shocked because he's so used to it being, I think now it's 69 cents per bag. It might be even more now. But here it is, you're paying more money, all right, for the same product. And then to make it worse, you're getting less bang for your buck. It used to be 4 for $1. Then I remember when it went to 3 for $1. Then it went to 2 for $1. And then I'm not sure whatever it is now. This is the money system here is just that, a money system. Steward system means pit. It's a pit, and it's designed for you never to be able to rise out of it, which is why there's this whole thing about this national debt. Here it is, you got this huge debt, but here it is, you got the presidents sending over millions of dollars to the small hats. And no one questions it, no one says anything. Here it is, America's trillions of dollars in debt, and it'll never be able to pay it off. The scriptures speak about in Habakkuk, the 2nd chapter, he that ladeth himself with thick clay. That word there for clay is ibatyat, if I'm not mistaken, which means debt. And America is heavily in debt. So one of the reasons the Heavenly Father is going to destroy America is because of how they've defrauded the people's wages. They're not giving people real money, which is gold and silver. All right? And also, the Heavenly Father is causing more and more people to be disgruntled with the state of things at their jobs because they're not getting paid enough. You know, the work conditions are bad. Low staff. And here it is, the unemployment rate within America. It ain't getting no better. It ain't getting better. Here it is, Trump will say, oh man, we got so many jobs coming in. But if you look around in your community, clearly they hit your area. You have a lot of these different things that used to be produced within America. They're getting shipped, or produced rather, overseas and shipped over here to get sold. So there goes your jobs. Because why? Overseas, it's cheap labor. And then they hike up the price and sell it over here. If you look at the cost of making these different goods, you start to question a few more things. This whole society has to go. And eventually it's going to get to the point where these people, they're going to get tired of this place. Because what Esau's doing, it's like a vice grip. If you ever work out and you want to increase your grip strength, there's something called a vice grip. You can look that up. And pretty much, you squeeze that vice grip, and it's supposed to increase your grip strength. Now, if you have a small enough vice grip, I can't remember what the tool is called. It works just like a vice grip, but they use it a while. Hey, the license plate in front of me is 2441. But the vice grip, there's a tool that they use to open, I think they're called chestnuts. And the tool is shaped it works like a vice grip. And pretty much you squeeze the two handles, for lack of a better term, and whatever is in the middle, it breaks. They use that to open a hard nut. I think it's chestnuts, if I'm not mistaken. But pretty much that's what Esau is doing to the people. He's making life extremely bitter. And eventually people are going to explode. They're going to lose it. Especially when they implement the MOTB. Do you know how many, you can only imagine, how many people are going to lose their shit when the MOTB is made mandatory. What you mean I can't, no, this is unpatriotic. Of course you're going to have a lot of people that end up taking it. But you're going to have certain people that are going to have a problem with it, like the Bible Belt Edomites, certain religious groups may have a problem with it. No, what do you mean? And some of those, so-called patriotic, those guys, some of those are going to get pissed off because they're going to say that this is unconstitutional. This is not patriotic. This is not constitutional. You can't do this. They're going to get tired of this pressure that they're under. But that's how Esau moves. Hegelian dialectics. Pressure from above, pressure from beneath. What's the point of him doing that? To put hell on the people, and to push his agenda. That's how this devil operates. And eventually these people are going to get tired of it, even to the point where they're going to want to do something about it. 2 Ezra 15, all right, speaks about a sedition. For there shall be sedition among men. That word there for sedition, all right, it means for one, all right, pretty much to rebel against their government. And that's what's going to happen. They're going to lose it. This right here that you're seeing, that, people are smiling, cheering, eventually that's going to be a thing of the past. They're going to seek these people's lives. These different politicians, these senators, these, it tells us that they shall rise up against their, pretty much they're going to rise up against the government. 2 Ezra 15. There should be sedition among men and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes. They're not going to care about the state legislators, the politicians, the senators, the mayors, the governors. They're not going to care about that. They're going to be seeking their lives. This is nothing compared to what they're getting ready to do. All right? Because Esau is going to make it extremely difficult for people to actually just live, which he's already doing. But he's going to make it even worse. Remember that vice grip. Squeezing, to the point where these people just lose it. you know, and that's what he wants. Problem, reaction, solution. Brings in the problem. People have a certain reaction that Esau wants. Then he brings in the solution while people are in a state of panic. That's how he moves. 2 Corinthians 2:11. We are not ignorant of Satan's devices. You know, but these people they gonna lose it. You know. So with that, you know, our praises, honors, and glories be to Yahweh Shem Shai. You know, double honors to my apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace, blessings to the elect. You know, there's going to be even more uproars of the people coming. You know, this is just another sign of the end. That being said, shalom.